Jesse,
Yo.
welcome back to Nature Rhythm Learning Studio. Hot summer's a problem? I don't think so. This week, we're going to go over all our best tips and tricks to beat the southern heat.
Beat it to death.
Beat it to death. Southern summers can be brutal. Intense heat, inconsistent rainfall, and high humidity can challenge even the most experienced of landscapers. But in today's episode, we'll go over 7 fun tips and tricks so you can survive the heat. Not only survive, but thrive.
At least your plants will. I don't know what the heck's gonna happen here.
The brush is alive. Swinging and snapping, feel the vibe. Thoughtful Thursdays, oh hey, hey. Designed into the rhythm of nature, they say.
All right. How's that?
Good.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Nature's Rhythm Learning Studio.
Get to learning.
This week, we're going to talk about this brutal heat and how to overcome it.
Need some help with that. It was pretty brutal and dry for a few weeks, and then we finally got a break, and it's only been like high 80s instead of the high 90s, so that's been nice. But nonetheless, we had a terrible little streak there, and these plants and these suggestions would have helped your landscape get through it.
So is there good news, Jesse? Do we have good news to share with the people today?
There's always good news.
Love good news.
Always good news. Sometimes there's bad news. There's always good news.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
What's our first tip?
Our first tip: choosing heat-loving, drought-tolerant plants. This is a fun one. You think, well, native plants is obviously an option. If you want a plant that grows well in South Carolina, pick a plant that has always lived in South Carolina. But beyond that, we got a few specific options you can choose from. The black-eyed Susan. Some people prefer Rudbeckia. That's a good one. It's pretty, drought-tolerant. You just take a beating, and it puts up nice yellow flowers. The muley grass, you got the pink and the white. They both do fine.
I love muley grass.
Muley grass. It's very feathery and light. It's just a fun grass. Lantana is nice and colorful. It's a good one. It's getting these little colorful clumps or clusters of flowers rather. And some of the clusters will have multiple colored flowers inside the cluster. It's very interesting.
Sounds like a cool plant.
It is a cool plant. It can get a little leggy, so you want to cut it back every once in a while. And then certain cultivars do not do so well in the zone 8 area where we are. They like that zone 9, 10, 11. Kind of maybe Charleston would probably be really happy for some of the cultivars. Some of them do just fine. So check the cultivar, make sure it's good for this area. The coneflower, also called echinacea. It's a pretty cool one. Did I get this right?
Mm-hmm.
I just make that up.
Maybe.
Yeah. Hold on.
Sounded right to me. No need to check you right along.
Yeah, I was right all along. How about that? Yeah, coneflower, echinacea, very fun, very cool. There's actually some health benefits. As I understand it, I'm not a doctor. Don't quote me on that. Yaupon holly, excuse me, definitely native to this area. Cool thing about Yaupon holly, it can be a source of caffeine in a pinch. Some people may even like it. It's similar to like a green tea as far as the caffeine levels, and it's not bad. And then the autumn sage, yeah, it's a salvia. It comes from it's native to western Texas, all the way down to Mexico. It likes to grow on rocky slopes, so it likes it can deal with a moist soil, but it has to drain well. It can't sit in water, and it can of course grow in rocky soil. That's where it's native to. So that's a good one, and that's zone 7 to 11, so you're good as far as the cold on that one.
Nice.
Those are some options.
Good plants. Good plants for the upstate.
Good buddy.
All right, number 2, mulching.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a good idea, but there's obviously a way to do it wrong. Maybe not obviously, because people do it wrong sometimes.
It's not so obvious, but it is definitely true that there are incorrect ways to do your mulching.
So your best benefit to mulch is soil retention and moisture retention. So you avoid erosion because you have something heavier on top of your soil, so it just wash out. You want to make sure you have some good 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch. That way you can get a little bit of compaction on it so it stays put when the wind comes down. And then you also suppress weeds, but usually you have to put a fabric underneath that, you know. And then it'll improve your soil over time because as it decomposes, you get all that smelly stuff that is actually really healthy bacteria. You want to have good bacteria because that will help your roots grow and keep your plants nice and healthy. So our pro tip of the day, which is the key to mulching, is do not create a mulch volcano.
Don't do it.
That is the number one thing we see.
Don't do it.
You can't do it. You will suffocate the
plant.
plant. Yes, plants breathe. Most critically, the oxygen exchange between those top little roots, it needs to exchange with that air. And if you just keep compacting with more mulch and more mulch, you will end up killing that plant or stunting the growth, or it'll just look weird. And so, pro tip, please remove some of that old mulch if you see it start piling up. If it didn't quite decompose enough that year, just get rid of that old mulch and put some fresh mulch on it. That way you don't have to deal with suffocating your plant in the problematic mulch volcano.
That's one problem. Another problem is if you have those mulch beds around your house, if you were to continue to add mulch every year, not take any out, you're basically burying your house. And you're gonna have
a bunch of bugs that can grow in there.
Not great. You're gonna invite termites. You're gonna invite all kinds of bugs into your house. So definitely
keep it neat.
Keep it neat. Pull that mulch out every once in a while. Don't let the water, go into your house. That's the opposite of what you want. Number 3. Cut back on lawn area. Your lawn, especially if you're trying to have a monoculture, nice zoysia grass lawn, I get it, they're beautiful. It is going to be a water and nutrient intensive part of your lawn, of your landscape. So if you can carve out some of that lawn and replace it with some of the plants we talked about earlier, ornamental grasses, ground covers. You can do the meadow thing. People like to do the meadow. It's kind of the new fad or old fad returning. I don't know. All kinds of things you can do that will cut down on your need for water, which is always great in the summer.
Yep. So we like to do plant beds.
Yes.
For sure. On that note, let's talk about irrigation again. It always seems to be a hot topic.
Yeah, your plants need water.
So we like to emphasize drip irrigation over sprinklers. Why is that? Well, if you see your little rotor head, a lot of times you're going to start overshooting your yard. You're going to start watering your sidewalk, your driveway. You don't need to be watering that. It's a waste of water, 1, and then 2, it's just not. It's a waste of resources, And then the alternative is drip irrigation.
Yes.
So basically, drip irrigation, you can run a water line. It's like a rubber-looking hose. You can buy it in the utility store. You can actually install it yourself. Irrigation is not quite as complicated as a lot of people think. It can be.
It can be.
But not always.
It doesn't have to be.
So you just run your line and basically you just pop a little hole in it, put a little head on it, and that'll drip. As it says, drip irrigation. The water starts to drip onto the plant. You can get different levels of drip. Sometimes it'll be like a gallon rate, 2 gallon rate, whatever. You can water pretty much any size plant with the drip irrigation. Just make sure you have the right head. That way, the water is going slowly into that plant. This gives it the roots a chance to actually absorb all that water, and not just overspray and then just have this quick watering that's all going to evaporate anyways, and then your plant's just not going to be nearly as healthy, and that those roots aren't growing downward; they're going to grow outward.
Yeah,
not good.
Yeah, you're also inviting more possibility of mold and mildew on those plant leaves when you get them wet, along with evaporation. So it's just a waste. And if you don't want to do the drip, the soaker hose also works. Just a hose that allows water to slowly leak its way out of the walls of the hose. You can take those and wrap them around your plant and set it up on a timer, and they can be very useful as well. And no digging, just lay it on your mulch and get to watering. So, well, there are always options. And yeah. All right, number 5, design with shade in mind. Use your home fences and trees to create microclimates. So the trees that you have in your yard, hopefully you have some trees in your yard. Maybe you're a brand new build, you don't have any trees because they cut them all down. Well, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today. So get some trees in your yard. Use the north side of your house. It creates shade. You're going to put your plants that prefer maybe a little less sunlight in those either in the shade or near the shade, where it gets some of the shade of those trees if you have them, or where it gets some of the shade of your house. Yeah, this really goes back to the right plant, right place that we monitor, that we bring up all the time. So don't put your partial sun plant out in your south facing front lawn for it to get torched. It's just not going to survive.
All right. Next up is hardscape for balance.
Hardscape.
What does that mean?
I think it means like you make a real narrow hardscape and you try to walk on it and not fall off. That's what it means.
You can define your beds with some hardscape. You can define paths with hardscape. This reduces your lawn and just general sizes of planting areas, and also makes your yard a lot more functional. But it doesn't always have to be concrete. Concrete can get hot, and concrete everywhere is not very nice. You can have a material that we like to use, decomposed granite, is a great one.
It's a good one. Yeah, there's a you can go to your local guy, tell him you want some trail mix. It's slate chips with some fines in it, and it basically it'll lay down those fines, get in there and kind of fill up all the cracks, and you can get a nice solid permeable trail.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to mention. The thing that makes those materials better than concrete is because the water actually soak up into that path, and it's not just run off.
Thunder a little bit. I apologize.
No, it's fine. Feeding off is the feed off we need.
We work together.
Because again, like we said last episode, you want to slow down water is the key. Once it gets to flowing, you have runoff, and that's where it's not good. So the more texture you have, the more permeability you have, slows down that water and allows it to seep into your yard and head down into the water table, which is what we're going for.
Absolutely. And that can be as simple as square pavers surrounded by gravel.
Yep.
Actually, the riprap, that granite, the black, white, and gray you've seen kind of your whole life, it's becoming people are enjoying it and using it more and more as a decorative thing. As houses, people like the white houses with the black accents. That granite, gravel, really the 57 stone, some people call it. It just has the colors that match very nicely. So doesn't have to be complicated, doesn't have to be super expensive, but it will be useful.
Bring it home, Jesse.
All right, number 7, group plants by water needs. Got this cool word called hydrozoning.
You want to show off to your friends, you can use that word.
That's right. You can tell them I know a fancy word called hydrozoning. You can pass the SAT with flying colors. This obviously makes sense. If you got a plant, say, that likes to have its feet wet, and you put it with some lantana, trying to figure out the watering situation there is going to be complicated, and it's probably not going to work. So you take the things that like to have wet feet, and you put them in the lower part of your lawn where there's wetter soil, and you take the things that like to be dry, and you put those in the high sunny parts of your lawn because they like to be dry. And then you don't have to worry so much about trying to figure out how to water a fern in a sunny location and wonder why it won't survive.
And also, when you're installing, if you choose to install your irrigation or have somebody install it, when your plants are clumped together, that means that your timing on that zone is consistent. It's easy to figure out. You don't have a plethora of plants that need different water requirements. Right. And then all of a sudden you have 16 zones on 16 different times.
Yeah, all in the same bed.
Yeah.
Trying to water different things.
Just do yourself a favor and put similar plants together.
Yeah.
So that way those characteristics align, and that way your watering needs are simplified. You have to do calculus to figure out how much water every plant needs.
Yeah, we don't like calculus.
No, we don't.
We like biology.
That's right.
Right plant, right place.
Right plant.
Right place.
That's right.
Right back at it. All right.
A little bit of a shorter episode, but by all means, like, subscribe, comment any questions you have. We'll talk about it all.
Yeah. Anything you want to know about, please let us know. First, watch this. Everybody watch it, and then let us know what you think and what you want to see next.
Y'all be pros in no time, guys. Thanks for checking in. See y'all next week.
Peace out.